Okay, people, let's take a look at a new film coming to a cinema near you shortly. I'm talking about Sideshow. This was written and directed by Adam Oldroyd. It He also produces the film along with Michael Riley. It's executive produced by Philip Palmer, line produced by Thea Campbell. The music is from Michael Sidney Willis. Cinematography is Stephen J. Brand. Production design is Tomamia Lloyd Winder. Art direction was Olivia Kelly. Costume design is Chrissy Oldroyd. We got Charlotte Powles on makeup. And our cast. Well, we have Les Dennis. He is Pendrick or Stupendo. Then there's Anthony Head as his agent Gerald. April Pearson plays Eva, and her friend Dom is played by Nathan Clarke. Friend, I think he's more cousin, right? We then got Doris, played by Pamela Benham. Henry's played by Owen Oldroyd. Bill is Adrian Harris. And yeah, that's the cast, people. Now, the gist of the feature, because yeah, I mean it's a simple kind of tale, right? When two inept criminals break into the home of a washed-up psychic in search of hidden loot, they get a lot more than they bargained for. So yes, there you go, people. That is yeah, that's the gist of the film. So it opens up right with Stupendo, right? He's doing his act in a bit of a small theater, right? Think holiday camp musician, right? I think that kind of sums up what we get, right? There's not many people in the crowd. It's all a bit, girl, I can guess the number you're thinking, right? And then it's, I'm going to speak to spirits. So we have this. But we straight out the gate, we kind of see that Stupendo is a bit of a git. You know what I mean? Like, he just wants to pick this young woman rather than this old woman who is eager to commune with the spirits. But yeah, he goes with this young one who doesn't really want to be a part of it. And it's all just a bit of a mess. All a bit of a mess. Now, what he does next, right? Because he goes mad blue. You do wonder about that, right? And I will say that's never really answered. Why? Because obviously the bookings are drying up. You know what I mean? The venues are dry. Just everything isn't what it was. And he would know, right? It's because some of the things he says. So you wonder why he persists. I think it would have been interesting to give us that, but we don't really get it. Now, in the audience is Eva. And straight away we see her looking at this photo and this coin, which is something she does throughout the film, which again is a little baffling. It's a little baffling, but hey. So yeah, all goes very wrong at the theater. But we then have Eva and Dom plotting. Now, there's a There's stuff going on with those two, right? Because they're related, but they're not really friends. And Dom isn't very bright, right? They play that character like he's pretty dumb. Even how we first meet him with the balaclava on, right? You're just like, oh my days, what's happening here? You know, which, but also it's just like, yeah, you're kind of drawing attention to yourself right now, right? But yeah, they go to do this thing, and it's it is a bit nonsense to tell you the truth, people. It's a little bit nonsense, right? Because nothing about the break-in necessarily, because it's just like you're waiting for someone to go to sleep. But as soon as the lights go out is when you break. No, you would then, right, lights are going out. That means they're going to bed. Okay, let's give it 30 minutes, an hour, make sure now they've fallen asleep. But it's like lights go out. Right, let's go break in now. You're like, what? So we have all of this, and then what they usually do in these films, right? People are meant to be creeping around, but they're having these full conversations. And you're like, well, I mean, I can imagine someone could hear you. You're not really being quiet. But just from this, we can tell that maybe Eva isn't telling Dom everything. So we have all of this going on. And yeah, then things take another twist. Right. Now, will say the one thing that is it's interesting is the film is played like maybe Stupendo can do the things he talks about, right? We're not ever really given a straight answer on that side of things, which I didn't mind. I didn't mind that, you know, because it made you wonder about things coming up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, is this going to happen related to, So that wasn't too bad. Um, but yeah, there were certain things that were just a bit like Supendo always says, oh, I've got, there's more chances of a meteor from outer space hitting someone than me guessing this. And it's one of those things where it's just like, where the fuck would that saying come from? Right? Where would that come from? And you'd have some more. If you're saying stupidness like that, then you'd have a few of them. But it's just this one thing, and it said, "Oh, all the time," and so it's just it gets a bit like, okay, it was amusing once, twice, but you kind of play it way too much, right? Which does kind of seem the thing with the film. There's a lot of things that are played too much. Like, oh, I've got a dodgy stomach. Oh, I've got to pee. And it's just a bit like, okay, yeah, we get it. But then you have him making like weird comments like, oh, I could pee for hours. And it's just like, I don't know if you'd be saying that to yourself, right? It's what, if this is a thing you always do, you're not going to say that, right? You might be like, fucking bladder. Jeez, this is frustrating. Or it's not even worth going back to sleep. I'm going to be up again in fucking half an hour. You know what I mean? Those are the things. But the stuff he says, it's just like, I mean, someone ain't saying that shit. Like, what are we doing? And there is a lot of that, I would say. There's a lot of comments and asides that you would say either someone's going to say that in their head or they're just not going to, they wouldn't say, no one's saying that shit, right? Which was odd. It was odd. Like, I will say the film reminded me a bit in the vein of a carry-on film, right? One of those, what I thought they were 80s, 70s, 80s films, right? Might have been 60s. I don't know. But those British carry-on films, Benny Hill, like it's trying to go with that sort of aesthetic. It's trying to channel that feel, tone, vibe. It doesn't really do it script wise. Like tonally, the look and feel of the film isn't bad at all. Like it looks very well done. Cinematography is good. All of those elements are very good. It's just the script is it's not the best. It's not the best. And I think a lot of the stuff gets predictable. Like where you're going with this stuff, right? And especially at the end, right? There's a bit, and you're just like, okay, obviously this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen, and the whole Eva angle, you know what the big reveal with that one is gonna be. Because the pictures and just all of that, and you just be like, okay, I feel they're gonna take it here. And that's where they did take it. All right. So yeah, it's about magicians and stuff, but it is not the prestige. And it's not even the illusionist, which wasn't a prestige, but Ed Norton and crew did a decent job. I enjoyed The Illusionist, people, I will say. But yeah, the Sideshow is neither of those. Neither of those films. But yeah, as I said, look, I think if you like those old school kind of films like, the carry-ons and that kind of thing, this may work for you. It's not as funny as those films, but it's trying to channel that thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you enjoyed that, then you might get on with Sideshow, people. Uh yeah, you know, it's I won't say the acting is bad. It's just like I feel they asked a certain thing from the actors and the hands are kind of tied. Right? Just because, especially when you look at the way Les Dennis is talking, it feels weird. Right? It feels disconnected from other people. Like, hello, I am Stupendo. But and it's all very juncated and it's odd. It's very odd. But yeah, people, it might be for you, right? And as said, it is coming to the theaters, cinemas near you this Friday, the 11th. And if you're still not quite sure, about all of that jazz, right? It is going to hit digital not too long, right? On the 28th of March. So you have those options: cinema now or digital on the 28th of March, people. But yes, those are the two ways you can check out new indie feature Sideshow.